Welcome back to another session of Scrum. Today we are going to talk about pillars of Scrum. Right? So let's get going. Before talking about pillars of Scrum, let's look at what is Scrum. Right? So by now you must be aware or knowing already. And for those who don't, Scrum is a framework uh, within which people um, can address complex adaptive problems while delivering the highest possible value as an outcome. Right? Its key three pillars are inspection, transparency, and adaptation. Right. So to solve any complex problems, right, we must constantly inspect in their reality, right, and adapt to it. Right. And that can only happen if we maintain the transparency. Right. If there is a transparent environment, then only we can maintain to solve any complex problem here. So here transparency means any significant aspect of a project or a process, right, must be visible to all meaning all, right, who are involved in the outcome, right? And inspection is what? Inspection here, it means that inspecting the work which was required to be done, which was agreed or to be done in certain manner, right? Not just being done, and to be delivered in certain state is what is called inspection over here, right? Now, for say, uh, now we have developed or worked upon a user story, right? And let's say we have just coded, designed, coded, but not tested of its functionality, whether it is functional or not. Now, when it goes for inspection, right, for developers, it may be that it is designed and coded and their job is done. Now, inspection, when they will look for inspection, they will realize that this is a non-functional one, right? So you see there is a clear gap of understanding between the inspectors and the developers, right? Because inspectors' understanding here, it was that it is going to be a functional user story, right, which can be released. However, it is not a functional, it is merely designed and coded. So having a common understanding that what is to be inspected, in other words, we can call it as maintaining transparency. Now, after doing the inspection, right, particularly in complex uh, environments or complex problems, we require to change our requirement very frequently. For instance, let's take this COVID as an example of the project, right? So here we constantly require ourselves to adapt to the government guidelines, right? And the government guidelines, week after week or bi-weekly, there is changes in the guidelines, right? Initial guidelines we had was to stay put at home for a day, don't go out, right? Then that quickly turned into being a complete lockdown in entire country, right? So we adapted to these changes. What would have happened if we would have not adapted to this situation. Some of us might have been infected with this virus, right? So adapting is also very critical to the changing requirement, right? So the requirement may change uh, due to any external environment, due to internal, right? So as we all know that changes in software project happens for various reasons. One of them being it's because we are forced to change as our competitors have a better product than us, right? Some we want to stay ahead. Some of us wants to stay ahead. So we change our current product into something better, futuristic products, right? So at some projects, it could be the regulation requirement again. So one, you have competitive in nature. One, you want to stay ahead. Another, you are forced because the regulation requirement is such that you have to update your product. And so it can happen for various reasons. So that's your transparency, inspection, and adaptation.